Hi everyone, welcome back. This week, as part of Experiment Month, I've decided to take a different tack, once again, and this time do a personality test. Joining me for this video is, of course, the lovely Cringe Monster Productions. Say hi.
Just say Charlie.
Oh, it's Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Hello.
So, you were the one who told me about this test. Do you want to just explain a little bit about it before we start?
Well, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the MBTI, was constructed by two separate Americans, Catherine Cook Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers. It was based on the conceptual theory by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. He had previously speculated that people use four principles in psychological functions: sensation, intuition, feeling, and thinking, and that one of these functions is dominant in a person for most of the time. And the categories sprung from that were introversion, extroversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, and judging/perception. And although it is classified as a type of pseudoscience because it is pertaining towards supposed predictive abilities, it does quite accurately link patterns in behavior and ways of thinking among separate people. It's also said to be, if you want to know exactly what the Myers-Briggs type is essentially being used for specifically, it basically means perception involves all the ways of becoming aware of things, people, happenings, or ideas. Generally, the test describes judgment as involving the ways of coming to conclusions about what has been perceived. If people differ systematically in what they perceived and how they reach conclusions, then it's only reasonable for them to differ corresponding to their interests, reactions, values, motivations, and skills. This is what Myers-Briggs has been quoted to say.
So it's less a prescriptor, more a indicator.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it has been recognized that it can fluctuate over time. You will change personality types based on your experiences, your growth, and how you decide to view things. It is not meant to. It's not a diagnostic test, in a sense, because obviously when it comes to developmental psychology and social psychology, you can't particularly diagnose people with things because it is not medical psychology. So it's mostly it has been compared to horoscopes, but it's been described as a scientific horoscope.
By the sound of it, you have a background in psychology. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I'm a undergraduate psychology BSc graduate, and I'm going on to do my psychology master's degree specifically in psychiatry.
In other words, she's a smart cookie. So the test we're going to take, it's not the one from the Myers-Briggs Foundation, because I did look that one up. Now, it charges you to take it, or you have to order it, from what I've gathered here. So the test you've sent me, this one from 16 Personalities, which I will link below, as well as a link to the Myers-Briggs Foundation. This is a variant, or is it's based on? Is it?
It's the framework of the previous psychometric research.
Okie doke. We might as well start. I'll just click on take the test, and we'll see where it leads us. So the first question is: you enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. Vibrant social events.
There has also been a problem with definitions when it comes to internet and social media. Because obviously, I think they are getting at, well, they're pretty much getting at outside of the internet. Do you enjoy talking to people, lots of people?
Yeah.
Necessarily, the location doesn't really matter.
All right. Well, I've put for that the one just below. Totally agree. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right I do. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. I do tend to plan, but it's mainly based on fixed things. So, say if I'm going on a long train journey, the only fixed things in that will be what time the trains are. I'm not going to say, oh, well, that gives me an hour, say, in Piccadilly or something like that. So once I get to Piccadilly, I've got an hour before the train, so I will go here. That will take 20 minutes. I don't do that. It'll just be, right, so I've got an hour before the train. I'll go and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll put it the first step towards agree.
Yeah.
You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it's taken place. I do not mostly, but I do occasionally. I will just come out and say something, and then I don't just mean something in general. I just mean, say if there's a conversation or an argument or a discussion, I do occasionally get that. Oh, I should have said this.
Yeah. Hindsight.
The wit of the staircase, it's called. With me, it's usually, oh, that would have been a funny thing to say, or oh, that would have slayed them. But yeah, I do generally sort of tend to get most of my points out if I'm in an argument or a conversation. It's just more witticisms and put downs that sort of spring to mind later. So, if your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not to solve their problem. I'm a big believer of no matter how someone's feeling about a situation, if it can be fixed, that should be the priority. I'm going to put the second disagree for that. People can rarely upset you.
True. For you, I would think.
Things do get to me. I'm very difficult to get to. That's all.
So that would be rare.
Yeah, it's a rare occurrence. So I'm gonna put the second one towards agree for that because
Goddamn toxic masculinity.
it's not that. It's not that. It's more.
I know.
It's more pragmatism than anything else. If somebody was to come at me full force, like with insults and things like that, a lot of it I would just end up taking in my stride. And look, I've heard worse by better people. So you often rely on other people to be the ones who start conversation and keep it going. I disagree with that. But to what?
Only because I'm asleep a lot of the time.
I'm comfortable with there being no conversation, but being around people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't often feel the need to, fill silences or... If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. No, I don't tend to, but I see that as a failing of myself.
Yeah.
I see that as a failing of myself that I don't do that, but I know in my heart of hearts I don't do that. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on somebody you met. I disagree. I completely disagree. I do worry about that all the time. I even worry about it with people I know.
What do you mean you know? Like, already know?
Yeah, people I already know. I think, oh, have I pissed them off somehow? What have I said to them now? It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend by yourself without feeling bored. Disagree. I can do that. I've done Christmases alone, for God's sake.
Oh. How was that?
It was fine. I was in work Boxing Day anyway, so I couldn't really go anywhere or do anything. So you are more of a detail orientated than a big picture person. No. Although it's a slight disagree because I do like adding details to things but generally, as long as if I'm making something, be it a video or if I'm painting something or something like that, I tend to think of what it's going to look like as a whole, rather than, oh, I want to put that little detail in or something like that. You are very affectionate with people you care about. I'll let you answer this one for me.
You're alright.
I know I can improve in that regard, though. I know. So I'm on the agree side, but I know I can improve. So,
Oh, don't put yourself down like that.
you have a careful and methodical approach to life. Fuck no. You are still bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. Absolutely not. The things in your life that you've done that you regret are what have put you where you are now. So if you are comparatively happy or relatively happy now, those things you regret are part of it. So don't sweat it, you know.
Don't sweat it.
Yeah. So I'm going to put slightly disagree, because I do get like occasional pangs of regret. You know, friendships that have ended, or people I've burnt bridges with, and I've gone, I wish I hadn't have done that. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. Well, you'll have noticed this in Discord chats with me. I do tend to mostly observe, and then occasionally I'll throw my 2 pence worth in. Yeah. I'll put some very slightly agree with that, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. I'd say it's 2 on the disagree scale, because I can understand like emotions and I can empathise, but I sort of tend to be the one who turns around to them and go, look, this is what you need to do. I understand how you feel, but this is what needs to happen next. When looking for a movie to watch, you can spend ages browsing the catalogue. Yes. This is why I try not to use Netflix too much, because I'll spend longer in the menus than I will watching anything.
Isn't that just true with Netflix? That looks shit, that looks shit, that looks shit.
Okay. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. I agree, but the reverse is also true. I can fly off the handle at at very small things.
Oh no.
One of my exes used to say, "You confuse me," because we can be in the worst situations financially, you know, because all this can be going on, and you can stay absolutely calm and collected about it, but the slightest thing happens. For pencil breaks whilst you're using it, you can just throw it across the room.
Oh dear.
When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. Yeah, that's true. I do. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Yeah, they do. Actually, they do. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life.
Ooh.
It would depend on who it was.
Again, you can't think like that. You just think of what it says, because there's this question that you could answer in any way possible, but they do mean more like in the crazy sense.
Right.
To kind of throw someone under the bus.
No, I don't think I would ever throw anyone under the bus. No.
Again, the problem with the definitions of what exactly they mean.
Yeah. Okay. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. Totally disagree. I was editing a video earlier. Still not finished. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, and your knowledge. Yes. Yes, I do. But not completely. because I'm aware that that's what I'm doing. After a bit, I tend to sort of snap out of it and go, oh, hang on a sec. You know. When it's a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people, mostly talk to the ones you already know. I'm going to put very slightly agree for that. But I am kind of... I will sort of try, at least. It's just I will, at a social event, tend to spend more time with the people I do know.
Yeah.
You actually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. I disagree. Totally disagree. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. Slightly disagree. I'm perfectly happy crying in front of others, but it's usually in a... after the initial couple of minutes of, no, you're crying. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet, intimate ones. Nah. I'm going to put the middle of disagree for that one. Because I do, especially if it's a night out, I do much prefer a night out in a quiet pub where you can chat with people than, a busy nightclub.
Yeah.
You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could like in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. If it's something that I really, really want, I will tend to ignore the sense. Kind of, I will tend to ignore everything I've thought through on it. You know what I mean?
Oh dear.
You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience. I don't know what this question means.
Religious stuff. Not necessarily are you religious, but would you study or be interested in looking at philosophy and such things like that?
I'm gonna put...
You can't put yourself in someone else's place for wanting to do that, because you couldn't ever see yourself. Well, you couldn't ever understand it, I think is what they mean.
Alright, I'm gonna put slightly disagree on that one. Well, the middle disagree. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. Slightly disagree, because sometimes revenge can be sweet.
Oh no.
You often make decisions on a whim. You have to sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to put... not quite fully agree, but... the time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. It can be either or for me, but I tend to get more done if I'm on my own, so I'll put slightly.
Ooh.
You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning of a message or the message of a song or a movie. I don't put special effort into it, no, not. You always know exactly what you want. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. Yeah, I do sometimes do it. When in a public place, you usually stick to quieter, less crowded areas. I kind of agree with that. You tend to focus on present realities than future possibilities. Completely agree. You often have a hard time understanding people's feelings. I disagree. There's a difference between understanding and not caring, I suppose.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Well, it was truthful, but I only brought it up as a joke. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. I'm going to put very slightly agree for that, because I am open to sort of completely changing things. But I do try and fit it in the framework. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. I agree.
Oh, poor Pete.
But not fully agree. Just the next one. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Again, I agree, but not fully. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios.
Do you? Pete, you can stop the joke now.
I do a bit, actually. Yeah, I do a little. You look after yourself first, others come in second. Slightly agree. That's the way I kind of want to be, but sometimes I don't turn out like that. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to think, me first. Get sort of like,
Me.
Yeah. But even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment. Completely agree. I've got... You won't see this because you can't see the screen, but I've got one of these. It's a pad of weekly planners. I went through a phase of filling one of these out every Sunday night until I realised I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing most of the stuff I'd written on there. Your mood can change very quickly. Yeah. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Not often, no. Slightly disagree, because I do think about it. It's just not often.
On your list of things to do each day.
Yeah, it's not on my weekly list. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. Yeah, I'd say I'm quite open about those things. But I'm open in a way of I'm not going to volunteer things on a whim. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. If I'm asked about it, yes, I'll happily talk about it. But I'm not going to go, well, anyway, this is how I'm feeling today. You have got detailed educational career development plans stretching several years into the future. At the moment, slightly disagree. In fact, just less than completely disagree. You rarely dwell on your regrets. Just one shy of totally agree. Because I do dwell on them a bit, but...
Yeah.
So the next one is spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway.
Do you often feel need of a getaway?
It's a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around. Nah, I'm going to disagree with that completely. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. Yeah, definitely more a realist. Well, no, I'll knock it down one because I'm quite creative, but I always apply like a realistic filter over it. What can I actually achieve?
Yeah.
You find it easy to empathise with a person who has gone through something you never have. I slightly agree. Obviously, there's a lot of situations and a lot of circumstances in life that, in fact, even in recent months, I've sort of, people have told me about or presented to me, and I've gone, look, I can't imagine how that feels for you, but this, Right. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organised and consistent efforts. Yes, completely agree. Completely agree. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Slightly disagree. I am a little bit a martyr to my emotions sometimes. I do try to and tend to channel them into good things. If I'm angry about something, rather than like railing against it, I will try to sort of channel it into something fun or creative. After a long, exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. I just want to relax after a long and exhausting week.
Exactly.
But a party would be nice, so I'm going to put 1 below totally disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life.
That does sound like something you would do. Maybe not frequently, but...
Yeah, so I'm going to put slightly agree. You always consider how your actions may affect other people before doing something.
I think you do.
Yeah. But I'm going to knock it down to 1 below totally agree, just because sometimes things just need doing or saying, and the response to them I just take as it's going to be what it's going to be. I'll deal with it then. You still honour the commitments you have made, even if you have a change of heart. If I've made a commitment to something, then absolutely yes. You rarely insecure. Insecure. Totally disagree. Totally disagree. Here we go.
Ooh, drum roll.
Drum roll. I say drum roll, it's actually on my screen already, but... Mediator.
Ooh, that does sound like you.
I'm an INFP-T.
Yay!
So I have an introverted mind, about 51%. Energy shows us 58% intuitive to 42% observant.
Yeah.
Nature is 72% feeling over thinking. That doesn't sound like me at all. Tactics. Prospecting versus judging. I'm 75% prospecting. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. And identity, I'm more a turbulent identity than assertive. Yeah, that makes sense. That really does make sense. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. Right. I'll have a proper look at this off air. But, you know, to end the video, like I said, guys, I will put the link to this test in the description below, as well as a link to Charlie's channel.
Yay!
For the next, 2 weeks as of recording, she is also still raising money for Iris's cats. I'll put the
Kitty
link.
cats.
Eh?
Kitty cats.
Yeah. I will put the link to the donation link there. Please, in your donations, specify that it is for the cats. If it is indeed, or if you just want to donate to Charlie, donate to Charlie. So, once again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, it's fine. You know, like I say, it's just an experiment. Just... don't forget, on the 28th of September, I will be hosting Charlie's birthday live stream on this channel. Come along, we're going to have a chat and then play some Town of Salem. Should be a good giggle. Peace out, peace off, and have fun, everyone.
Bye bye.